Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another lesson about particles, and this time we are going to use the particle system to emit a little +1 icon whenever the player collects a star. So it will be kinda similar to the star particle that we created in the last lesson. However, the difference will be that we will not emit so many particles like in this one. Instead, we will only have one particle at a time, but it will be handled at the same time and in the same way, so we are going to be using the same type of code again. So let's get going by creating a new particle system in the hierarchy tab. Right click, go to effects and choose a particle system. This time we can name it +1. The first thing that we want to do as usual is to move it into place. Right to where our player game object is located. And after you are happy with the positioning, drag it into the player game object to make it a child. Let's take a good look at the options now. So we want to reduce the duration again to 0.5. We want to disable looping, just as we did in the last one. The start lifetime will be 0.5 as well as the start speed. The star size will be reduced to 0.7. We want to change the simulating space from local to world, and we also want to change the scaling mode to shape. Make sure you also disable the play and awake option, and the final thing that we want to change is the maximum particles number. Since we only need one +1 icon, it will be changed from 1000 to 1. After that, let's see the emission options. It seems like we don't need to change anything here, so let's jump to the shape options. This time the shape will be left at cone. However, we'll still need to adjust the angle, so reduce it from 25 to 14. And we also want to change the radius from 1 to 0.2. We are also going to change the arc from 360 to 310. If we click simulate, we can see that we are only getting one particle at a time, which is exactly what we wanted. The only thing that's left to do is to change it from this circle to a +1 icon. And that's something that we do in the renderer tab. However, we first need to create a material for the +1 sprite as we did with star material here. So right click in the project tab, go to create and choose material. We can name this +1 material. And you know what, since we already have two materials and there's going to be more of them, let's create a new folder in this project tab. And we can name it material. This is because we always want things to stay organized while we are working on a project. Okay, so right now we have created the +1 material, however, we still haven't assigned a sprite to it. Let's change the shader from standard to particles additive. And let's import the sprite. There's several other sprites that I had to make, so it's the +1 and these 4 circle sprites. Select them all and drag them into Unity to import them. They are going to be stored in the sprites folder. Select our +1 material again. Click select on the texture and choose the +1 sprite by double clicking it. Now go back to the +1 particle system. Scroll all the way down to the renderer and drag our +1 material here. Okay, this looks good, however, I don't want the particle to be hidden behind the player game object, so let's drag it a bit up. When you are happy with the positioning and the options, it's time to move to the script. So select our player game object, and as you already know, the script that handles player collisions is also called the player collision script, so right click it and choose edit script to open it up in Visual Studio. Go back to the beginning since we need to add a new variable, and it's going to be the same procedure like in the last lesson. So we'll have a public particle system variable, and we can call it whatever we want. For example, +1. Now scroll to the bottom and find the place where we played the last particle. Right after that we want to play the new particle. Simply reference the particle name and type .play, and don't forget the brackets. Make sure you save this, and this should be everything for now. If we go back to Unity and select the player game object, we simply need to add the +1 particle system right here. Now everything should be working perfectly.